with you, boy. Real wasn't real with you, boy. You won't give me too much chances. I don't care if I am fencing brighter. Yeah, yeah, oh boy, I'm telling you goodbye. I'm telling you goodbye. Yeah, oh boy, I'm telling you goodbye. I'm telling you goodbye.
Two tags, he is the hero. Yevney, oh dear, showing the back to Envision. Oh no, he received a shot, now he's a one shot. Oh dear, Yevney, can he survive? It's the $1 million question now, can he survive? He race. Oh my god, oh no, he found a whoopsie, he found a, oh no! Oh no! Right, good evening everyone. Welcome to this very long awaited, oh my gosh, I need to tidy it up later maybe. But we are with Friday Night with Wild Top 8 Talk, which is going to be doing talk amongst all three servers, Asia, EU and NA. I think we will follow this order tonight. Lots of stuff to talk about. I think I will post a link in the YouTube chat very soon. I need to adjust my need to adjust my angle or something like that. That would be good. Right, so I'm gonna say join my server and come to oh no chat. Timex, what do you mean by that? That doesn't seem to sound really good at all. That sounds a bit yeah, it doesn't sound good. Right, good evening to everyone. Just going to say good evening to Matthias, Addicted, Timex, Haven, as I have to say your last name, sorry. Yarrow, Juicy, Ty, Biscuit, and with me in the on Discord server so far. Come and join my Discord server and my Ono chat. Everyone is free to join. We have Iron and also Weiss in the chat at the moment. Hello, Martin. I hope you are doing a good job. I hope you're having a good day as well. But long story short, let's actually brief you with the leaderboard. I have to remove my face cam. So here. We're going to start off with the Asia server. The top 8 currently is Team ID, HLV, Feast, ENT, E4D, DVR, Order, GV, and GSM. Currently in the top 8. We also have for the EU server, the top 8 is currently Endgame, Turks, Aqua, APA, Carnage, Veil, Raid, BPS, and finally Primal with no, NA server, not Primal server. With the currently top 8 Primal, Naps, APX, GG, Void, Pincer, Hated, and Purple. Currently my top 8 guests is for Asia server Feast, GB, Dirty, ID, GSM, E4D, HLV, ENT, EU server Aqua, Veil, Raid, Endgame, APA, Souls, Turks, and Carnage with NA server. I'm so tempted to say Primal server. Primal, GG, Apex, Hated, Naps, Purple, Pincer, Void, and there are so many graphs you can see here tonight. I think we can actually go through some of these graphs as we talk through different servers in the Friday Night with Wild. So the previous one you were seeing the fixture with bars highlighted in green are the teams currently in the top 8, and this is you're seeing the game win percentage among teams in the power rating. So we're talking about the win percentage amongst the teams they have played against in the power rating, and currently the power ratings look like this. It's different to the top 8, as you can see, but I don't want to delay this discussion for way too long. So many graphs. I don't know what you're talking about, T-Max. But let's see how many people so far. Iron and White. So, how are you both doing?
Fine.
Cool.
White?
Oh,
Nice way to start. Right. Yeah, I think people who just joined. Wow, 23 viewers. So, well, this is such a popular topic. So, for those who are watching this stream and you want to join in for the chat, please, in that live YouTube chat, you should be seeing. I think I'm pointing the wrong way. This way is right. You should be seeing the link to my Discord server, and then scroll down until you see the Tilt Room category. Oh no, voice channel. Go there. You can freely join us whenever you want. But let's start off with the Asia server. I think Asia server is currently the top 8, as you can see here. I think the top 8 is pretty much what we might be expecting for the top 8 for the Asia this season. I mean, if you come on. Yeah, something's wrong with that. So, I mean, if you see about the fixture wins, it's pretty much a good top 8 you're seeing right now. Apart from where they only won like 4 games compared to 6 for other clans, which is kind of a questionable one. But showed us some wins against some really good clans. I think they won against HLV, if I remember correctly, 2-0. So it's still pretty much a clan that is top 8 worthy. But then I would argue that both RN and EA would be a better contender for top 8. If you take a look at about the game win percentage, you would further see that both RN and EA deserve a spot in the top 8. But other than that, other 7 teams, they have a good reason why they're in the top 8. So, and the power rating, as you can see, E4D is not there, which is very strange. But I do think that they're top 8 worthy. But right, if you're talking about it's really low in the power rating, and Cats, we haven't seen the best of them yet. They have a really high initial rating. That's because I saw that they are very good in quick tournaments, which is not a good indicator, obviously, but that's the only indicator before winter season. I mean, I don't know much about the trainings amongst the Asia teams, so. So for me, I think Cats actually so far has disappointed quite a lot. But it's only halfway through the season. They might make a comeback in the later half, but we will never know. But so what do you guys think? 10 is a very OP team for, especially on the NA server. It's kind of just like a control team where if some team loses to the team outside, not in the power rating, it's assigned either 10 losing against a 10 rated team or a 5 rated team for all servers. It seems NA server there is a really high chance that you lose against a 10 rated team amongst some of the teams in the power rating. So very interesting. Yeah, Naps is. I do think Naps is probably better than GG, but let's actually go back to Asia server for now. So I think now Iron is here. So what do you think about your top 8? What do you think about the teams in the top 8, and what do you think in general?
well, in general, EA, I don't think EA will make a comeback because, well, they don't have, the elements to be a top 8 clan compared to RN, Cats, and...
Yeah, sorry, your mic is quite muffled. I don't know, something just...
Is this
now
okay?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, compare. I mean, EA, as you said, I don't think they have the elements of a proper top 8 team. Either they might barely make it to top 8, but when they get to the top 8, they will not be able to maybe win even a single match. Compared to
Hmm.
teams like GSM, DUR, and CAT, and RN. These four teams, they can challenge the last two spots. The 7th and 8th spot can be challenged by these four teams.
Right. Well, that's a very interesting claim though, because EA did show that they can beat some of the clans up there. For example, they beat King. Well, I mean King is it's not one of the clans contesting for top eight, obviously, but they won against Feast 2-1, and and I think, yeah, they won King twice, Calm 2-0. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The only game they have proven against a solid top 8 team is Feast, 2-1.
Well, Feast at the first half, they were, I guess, not very much tryharding, but I guess once they really are in their form right now, as you can see, they already beat ID 2-0 suddenly out of nowhere while ID was beating them back 2-0. Now they've
Mhm.
actually come into their proper form, I guess. So I wouldn't say that EA really surprised us. They might have got maybe, I would say, a lucky break in some sense, but I wouldn't rate them as top 8. Top 16, definitely, yeah. But top 8, it's very unlikely.
I do agree. I do echo with Kraken comment there. I think EA is a good team. They're just a bit inconsistent, and they haven't so far proved their worth against some of the top 8 teams. GSM. I forgot GSM. GSM. They also beaten them 2-0. Did I actually put them in? Yeah, they lost to DR 2-1. Yeah, they also beat GSM 2-0, which is also a very important result. So that's why they're quite near the. I mean, you can see the power rating there. They're just in the top 8 currently, and they have top 8% probability. I do agree, around 48.4%. I do think they have a chance, but I don't know. It's like it's quite 50-50 for me. I mean, it really depends on the last 4 previous skill tournaments. I want to say hello to Max as well. Hello to everyone. But for the Asia server, I mean, I think the 4 teams we are very sure of that will be the top 8: Team ID, Feast, HLV, and DNT. I really don't see these 4 of them not being in the top 4 in the end, especially Team ID, Feast. HLV, I think, very solid as well. I mean, they were the winners. They are the winners of 2020 Blitz Asia Cup. I really don't think. I think really a catastrophe would put them out of top 8. And ENT, I think they are pretty impressive, but I think they still have a lot of room to improve. But I think they are a solid top 8 team in my opinion. GV so far, I think, is really, really disappointing. I really don't know what happened to them. But they claim that they are not playing it the first stage, the previous skill stage. They are not playing it very seriously at the start. So that could explain why they have some very questionable results, including, I think, they lost to E4D twice. And also E4D, ENT 0-2 twice, which, given the caliber of GV, you will be expecting them to be a lot closer, if you see what I mean there. But they are still pretty solid in the top 8, I would say. But then they have to start picking up the results in the next 4 previous skill tournaments. They can sleepwalk into out of top 8. I mean, currently they're 7th. They're just around 1,000 cups ahead of the 9th place. They need to be careful, but I think they still are in the top 8. Just that I'm really not sure if they are really solid there, but but I was expecting GB to be very solid in the top 8, not like fighting for the top 8. So 10, once again, 10 is just a rating, a control rating I assigned to, if, for example, Parable lost to some clans not in the power rating, then I either assign that anonymous clan, or that clan they lost to, as rated as 10 or 5. That's kind of the rating points out to kind of something like that. So already NA server, you can see like four teams already fell below 10 rating points, which is honestly a little bit bad. If you consider EU server, they have none, and Asia server only one team, and that is Calm. Not even DCGTB. I mean, they haven't even gone past through the quarterfinals of the group stage. I mean, Calm did, and they fell below 10 rating points because they lost 0-2 to a lot of clans. So that's why they are below 10. And yeah, I would say Asia server, the top 8 is really close to call. If you see this percentage here, GSM, EA, and DR are fighting for the places. I do also think that CAT's RN are still in the and EA obviously are still in the round, still fighting for that top 8, and it's very competitive, although not as competitive as we will talk about later on the EU server. Yes, I am an Asian, so what? Say hello to everyone so far. But if you, as I say, I think the top 8 you're seeing currently in the table, I think that would be the final top 8. If I can load this, yes, that should be the final top 8 you should be seeing. But I think it will go down to the wire. GSM is very close to dropping out top 8. I think GSM's just being quite inconsistent, because they can sometimes be really good. They beat HLV, I believe, and also Team ID. I think Team ID twice. HLV, I'm not really sure, but Team ID twice at least. So I must say, I think GSM 2-0 against HLV one day, if I remember correctly. Yes, 2-0 HLV. So obviously GSM, they have what it takes, but they can be a little bit inconsistent, like winning against RI 2-1 and losing to Cam 1-2. So they still need to find their edge to get their act consistent and so on. So just the performance. Whoa, we have Fujit and the deal for real here as well. So with Fujit here as well, we can talk about Asia server, because we signed with Asia server and then later on. I think now I can only hear myself, so I get out of this chat and then I'll go in back. Right, sorry. I think I couldn't hear anyone at that time when I was speaking.
That's why. Okay. Nice. Okay,
nice.
Well done.
Makes sense. So, what do you want to know?
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. I was speaking about the Asian server in general, but with now Fujit in the chat, I mean, we can talk about the Asian server, about top 8. So, what do you think?
Well, I mean, at the moment, I think the top 2 aren't really going to drop out. The top 3 aren't going to drop out of the top 8.
No.
What we need to look at is GSM, EA, RN, and potentially CATS. They're the ones to keep an eye on. I mean, RN have been up and down. We've seen this, though. I mean,
yeah,
they've been up and down since the end of the summer season. And I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, some days they play absolutely beautiful, and then other days they just get turned over. I don't know. They're a little bit inconsistent, RN, at the moment, which is...
They have a lot of roster changes, though. So they had a lot of roster change.
They do, but I mean, I've streamed them, and like I said, on some games they're absolutely class act, and in other games it's like, where did the team just go? So, I'm looking forward. I'm hoping RN will get back into a groove. EA, on the other hand, I mean, they have been a surprise. To be honest with you, they have been a surprise, and I thought they were going to give ENT a bit of a hard time the other day, and they did. But these are clans to look out for. I mean, GSM have played well. DIR have played spectacularly. I don't know where they've come from. They've just played really well.
Mm-hmm.
So GV have been inconsistent as well.
Oh, very.
Considering their pedigree at the moment. I mean,
yeah,
they won the summer season, which is tournament 8. They did very well in the autumn season. But the inexperience of that team did show, and they've been inconsistent with winter. But the thing about the winter season is it took everybody by surprise. It's and the clans weren't ready, they weren't prepared. So I don't know. I think we're going to see HLV, ID, and Feast not dropping out of the top 8 at all, and it's up for grabs on the others. I mean, looking at the leaderboard at the moment, it is so close. It really is.
Yeah.
Especially between 4 and 11.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing in it. You only need one of those teams not to go through to the next day, and that's it. It's boom. It's good night Vienna, because with teams snapping at their heels at the back, and you really have EA, RN, and Calm. I can't discount. Cats. I can't discount Calm, however. But with EA, RN, and Cats all within a stone's throw of getting into that top 8, it's competitive. Nobody can call. And just before, I know you're not going to deal with EU just yet, but just before we do, take into account what happened to Raid. Raid were 4th place going into YS 4. They didn't get through to the second day. They're now languishing in the bottom half. They're in 7th, and the chances are that there are clans behind them, Imor, etc., who can catch them. And they were 4th. You only need one bad PYS, and that's it. And it's very competitive. Very competitive. It's very difficult to call the full top 8. It really is. But I'm impressed with ENT. I'm impressed with E4D. Dirt have really impressed me as well. And so in GSM, I haven't watched GSM yet, but I've watched Dirt, E4D, and ENT, and they've really impressed me. I mean, they've come from nowhere, to be honest with you.
Right. I saw a message that there is some. There are some errors with DR's number of cups. So I'm finding where it gone wrong. So apologies.
So I've got 20,956.
Yeah. I have to check where it has gone wrong, because it's just really interesting. Yeah.
And I mean, let's have a look at this, because you've got GV on. You've got Dur in 6, which they're not. They're in 7th. GV are in 6 on 21,240.
Right.
So you've got that right. GSM 20,572 in 8th, and you've got that right. So it's just you've got wrong. So GV and Dur are the other way.
Dur, yeah. I'm finding where it has gone wrong. Let me go to the Asia server, and then I'll find out, like, on Dur. This slideshow is not automatically updated, which means I have to open my Photoshop, destroy that leaderboard, and then destroy that leaderboard, kind of like
there's only one wrong.
Only one wrong. Yes.
Yeah. They're in 7th, not 6th, and you've given them some extra cups. That's all.
Yeah. Well, let's see actually my top 8 odds though, because that could actually be right. I have to find out where it is. So if you could bear with me for a moment, that would be really nice. So Asia, I have to go back to where it is. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hello. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, I got it right for my for the odds for my power rating. So definitely I got something wrong with assigning the number. I'll double check where it has gone wrong. On this, because apparently 20956 should be correct, but for some reason on the stream it's not. So now I got it. Thank you for thank you for telling me to correct that. T4, okay, should be right. I will do something behind the scenes, and I'll be back and continue to discussing. Let's actually say hello to everyone so far joining in this stream. We have around 30, more than 30 concurrent viewers. That's brilliant. Thank you very much for the big support. I'm going to say thank you to Urina for correcting me about this. Going to say hello to Yarrow, the deal for you. Also in the chat, Bound School came in for a slight second. No.
No, he's in the YT chat.
Ah, I see. So, I mean, we have talked about the Asia server, so let's actually move on to EU server now then, because a lot of people.
God, hang on. Firstly, before you do, are you going to be speaking to Nikki now? Yeah.
What?
You're going to speak to Nikita now? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why is this not here? So...
Have a chat with Nikita while I make a coffee.
Yeah, sure, but let's talk. I mean, I will start briefing on the EU server first. So currently, we have on the table the top 8 is Endgame, Turks, Aqua, APA, Carnage, Veil, Raid, and BPS. And I mean, it's a huge mess. Like when you talk about the 4th place all the way down to even the 14th place, they're only around 2,000 cups apart. So anything could change. Even Rackham can pull out a surprise and go shoot all the way to the top 8. We never know. If we continue, but my top 8 guess for the EU server will be Aqua, Veil, Raid, Endgame, APA, Souls, Turks, and Carnage. However, I say the EU server, the top 8 currently is a bit of a misplaced, a bit of a mismatched. You have 4 of the clans here with more fixture wins amongst the teams in power rating, and those teams are Serenity, Souls, Loka, and HSOP. But you are seeing that these teams are not even in the top 8. Meanwhile, you have Carnage, BPS, AP, and Veil winning fewer fixtures than the teams in the power rating, and especially for Carnage and AP with the fewest number of wins, I think there are only 3 here. And if you're talking about the game win percentage, that is also another interesting stat with Carnage, BPS, APA, and Veil below Serenity, Souls, Loka, and HSOP. So I can safely say that the top 8 you're seeing on the EU server might not be the most representative in my opinion, just in my honest opinion. And the power rating is also quite different if you talk about this. The top 8, at least we can all agree that Endgame, Raid, Aqua, and Turks are top 8, but the other 4 teams are quite up for debate. My power rating says Serenity, BPS, Carnage, and Loka, and HSOP, Souls, APA, and Veil are not in the top 8. I mean, you can see the top 8 probability is also quite drastically different, and it's really up for grabs for the last 4 spots in my opinion for the top 8. Anything could still happen, and if you're talking about like among all these clans here, it's just like around 40% to 60%. Like it's just 50-50 for a lot of clans in the power rating here, so it's quite a toss-up. I mean, what do you guys think? Let's go with Nikita.
To start off, the power rating, it shows the majority, as I understood, it shows the past performance, right? So, EG's team has changed a bit, not much, but
yeah, I changed the multiplier for the 2-1 wins and 2-1 losses. So now it's only you earn half as much or lose half as many points as you win 2-0. So it's a lot different now. So that's just the big change I made in the last hour or so. So kind of see quite a change compared to kind of the power rating you're seeing in the announcements. But anyway, so I'll continue. Sorry for the interruption.
Yes. So from what I see, how EG are playing, even though they're, in my opinion, they're the best team on EU at this moment, but mind the fact that we're playing best of threes. as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think their performance is not what EU server is looking for. I don't think they're gonna win winter season as well. I think Aqua is gonna win.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Even
That's a
though
pretty
EG are first on the leaderboard, they're struggling against. They were struggling against us. Like, it wasn't easy win, because if you're a top one team, you should get easy win. Like, there is no doubt. It's been throughout all these years. The strongest team just beats on everyone except the real competitor, right? The top 4 team.
Right.
But EG are even struggling with some other teams, which like BPS, for example, they lost to them. Yes, it's best of 3.
Yeah.
That is very true indeed. But it does show that they are not as strong as they could be. Then the top 8 that it is currently, it is slightly stupid. I mean, it's not slightly stupid; it's very stupid. And here's my reasoning: like, APA and Seven Turks, they are on the same page as EG. They're struggling against almost every top 8 team. It's not like they have an easy wins, and that's why they will not win winter season as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we talk about the let's say the top 8 chances, do you think currently the table is showing the reality? Because personally, I don't think so.
I do think so, and here's my reasoning. It shows the correct version of how the top 8 will look like, or like should look like, for the reason of how the tournaments are set up, right? And it's not even about the win rate rigging, even though many people complain about it. I do complain about it as well, but majority of it comes to best of 3. APA, they've been getting into top 8 quite many times, and they've always get beaten in top 8. They never had chances to go to top 4. I think that's what is going to happen to 7 Orcs as well, because winning one map means nothing when you have best of 7 in the in top 8.
Right.
Not even mentioning like the best of 9. It should be in finals in the top 4. Yeah. Because even if you play one map good or something, people might not be ready, the team might not be ready, and then when they realize they're losing 2-0, they can catch up, and it's been happening so many times. Like, to remember Legion on the 2017 Twister, they were losing 3-1. They were one loss from one lost game from being destroyed, right? But then they caught it up and they won 3 games in a row. That is best of 7.
Right.
It's not like it's going to 0 like how it is now. BPS, the way they're playing is good in terms of getting into top 8, but again they will have the same problem as APA and 7 Orcs, that they will just get countered and outplayed, because all other teams, the way they play, they will understand what BPS are trying to do, and they will just counter them.
I see.
Counter them not with their strats, but with their movements, with their relocations.
Okay, so I have to do something on the chat, because apparently someone was not really acting nicely on the chat. So please be nice on the chat, and don't go insulting everyone on the chat. Otherwise, I can time out people. That's to say. But other than that, if you want to join me for no chat, if you want to join me for the open forum, feel free to do so. Join my server if you haven't already, and scroll down, go to Ono's voice channel, and we can talk about stuff. Thank you, Nikita. That's some really good information. But I mean, I think Turks is kind of one of the big team we're going to be talking about. I mean, they literally came out of nowhere, and I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. I
want to say something. APA in their own time, when they first got into top 8, it happened the same way for them. They got into top 8 out of nowhere as well.
Right.
So.
But I mean, I think I'm pleasantly surprised by Turks, though. I mean, if they don't use the 100% win rate account, they will win even more. My respect, but I mean, they have shown some quality in some games. But I mean, as you saw with both Avery and Fujit's stream, they got beaten resoundingly. I think I think that's an app. I think that's an app web there, which exists.
I just jump in there. I mean, you're right. They came out of nowhere. They are a good team, but they really showed their weakness against Endgame.
Yeah, I saw it. Which Endgame just kind of a lot more experienced. I'm a lot more composed, if I can see from stream. Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. It's the other clans in the top 8 need to go back and study that game against Endgame, because what Endgame showed was Turk's weakness, and it is a big weakness of theirs. And the other clans haven't caught up on it yet, but Endgame did. Now, Turks played well in the first game against Endgame. They really did. I mean, they pummeled them. But if you watch the next 2 games and you just watch what Endgame do, and that's their weakness. Now, maybe Turks have identified that weakness, and they're going some way to try and sort it out. But it is a weakness of theirs, to be honest with you. I mean, Endgame call. If you watch the game on Vineyards, Chocolat calls it immediately before the countdown finishes. He says exactly what their weakness is, and they turn them over. They absolutely turned Turks over in that game. Endgame did. So it's an interesting one.
Interesting. I think Turks really elevated themselves. I think they have some really good initial strats, but I think what Endgame did better than them is that they have a lot more experience in reading the game and kind of reacting to information. Not to say that Turks are doing badly on that. They are actually better than quite a lot of teams in that respect. But Endgame just had a lot more experience with that. So Turks still being relatively a new team together, I think they have a lot of room to improve, and I'm very excited to see how much they will improve over the next few weeks and even the spring season, because I do think they have what it takes to be a really strong clan on the EU server.
No doubt, they are strong. They are strong indeed, and respect them for getting to where they are. But if the other clans look back at those games against Endgame and exploit that weakness, then I think Turks can be in for a tough time especially against some of the other clans that are coming through. And when I say the other clans, I'm talking about you got Aqua there. Okay, Aqua's a new team. It's only been around since December, but it's filled with vastly experienced players. And to be fair, and again, I have to keep repeating this season dropped on everybody out the blue. And a lot of the teams, Aqua being one of them, Vale being another one, because obviously I've been part of Vale, and BPS being another one. Kana also, realistically, and potentially Turks. We were building teams aiming for spring season. Imor was in the same boat as well. I was speaking to Cougar about this. So this really dropped on us, and we never really had the time to sort of gel together. And the thing I've been saying on the streams is it's easy to get 7 amazing players together and have an amazing team of 7 players. The trick is getting those 7 players to then work as a team.
Yeah.
And this is where Endgame have an advantage, because their roster hasn't really changed. Okay, they've got Whoopsie and Object 3 come in from Legion. But aside from that, realistically, their roster hasn't really changed that much. So they've got a team that plays as a team. Some of the other teams, Vale, BPS, Aqua, Kana to an extent, and Imor, they're building still, and this took us all by surprise. So if those teams, we've seen BPS, Vale, and Aqua, they're gelling as a team. They are starting to gel, and we've had to do it a lot quicker in Vale than we would have hoped. We thought we had a little bit more time, but we are starting to gel as a team, and it's turning those 7 brilliant players into a team. That is the trick, as I keep saying. So
yeah, I agree.
It's a great tour for that.
Yeah, I mean, also you could. What's the point? Kind of forgot the point somehow. But yeah, a lot of teams only started to kind of like I think a lot of them have been constantly training for spring season, not for the winter season. Some of the clans have already started preparation, but some haven't. Oh yeah, I remember going back to the point of recruiting players. Yes, it's easy to find those 7 players, but the reason why some clans have difficulty in getting the people in it is because they want the people that can work together and that could work as a team and that could buy their philosophy, and that is what a lot of clans are struggling. But then you are seeing a lot of clans here like have found their 7 players and they can play together really nicely. And that's really good to see. And EU server, the competition is unparalleled to other seasons, I must say. And for endgame, as you said, lots of advantages for them because a lot of them have been playing together. The roster didn't really change. I mean, both Object Tree and Whoopsie, yeah, they joined in like a couple of weeks ago, but they were also part of the team in 2019 Twister season, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. I mean, these guys. I mean, Object Tree and Whoopsie,
they know each other.
Slot those teams, to be fair.
Yeah.
With the experience they've got, and you have to remember. I mean, going back to Vale, because obviously I know a lot about Vale. We were still recruiting when this dropped.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't the only clan that was still recruiting. We still had players on trial when this dropped. So you know, when I look at where we've got to in such a short space of time, it goes to show. Well, we are. I mean, I'm over the moon about that. But it goes to show the competitive mantle of what's coming through EU. Aqua are the same, BPS are the same. You know, I mean, BPS have always had good players. I mean, I know BPS of old. I mean, I've played with Foxy, and I've been in a tour with Foxy, and he's a great guy. But this is the first time they've really taken Clan Wars seriously. And again, they've got a team of fantastic players. And again, they were still sort of trying to gel together. And if you watch BPS, some of their games, they're absolutely fantastic, and in some games they're absolutely horrendous. But that's not because the players are bad; it's because they're still finding their feet as a team, and that's a big thing. And you know, winter season is great for this training ground, to be honest with you. And you know, I keep saying to the guys on Vale, don't be too downhearted, because what we learn from winter season, boy, can we take into spring season. And it's a completely different, you know, there are 4 seasons now, so which is good.
Yeah, like Vivaldi, like now we I mean, winter season is the first time in the entire game, the first time since the release of the game that we have a competitive season in winter, which is really amazing.
Don't forget, we're missing some big clans as well. I mean, Loka. Okay, they're at 12th, but that's not their team, to be honest with you. They lost a lot of players, and you know, they're still sort of rebuilding, and they're not, you know, they weren't really ready for this. Aesop is an amalgamation basically of Winter War and Win. So we haven't got Win because some of the guys weren't ready. It's as simple as that. You know, and you know, so you've got we're missing clans that would normally be there. Win is one of those clans. I don't know if they'll all be ready because some of the Win guys have gone to Aqua. Some of them are in Hesop at the moment. So I don't know if Win will be ready, but I'm pretty sure they will be ready for the spring season. And this is the thing we've got to be mindful of. So we're missing a lot of those big teams. Imor is still recruiting, or they were recruiting at the time. Kana was still coming together at the time. So, you know,
Yeah.
the only teams that are in even APA aren't really. They've lost some players. I mean, Ernest is now with Aqua, so you know they've lost some players. And I mean, I'm looking at the teams like Serenity. Serenity have got 7 fantastic players, a lot of tournament experience, not really showing their true thoughts as of yet, because they're still gelling. So you know, we've got some great teams coming up. We really, really have, and I think this is just great for the European Tour circuit.
Yeah, I'm really impressed. Like this kind of competition, unprecedented competition we are seeing here will only do good to the clans in this season, and I think there are a lot of clans that could benefit from this. And I think it will be a big toss-up into the final top 8, because currently I do think that the top 8 we are seeing right now is not the final top 8 we are seeing here, especially when you're seeing some of the stats. Some of the teams here have lower have fewer fixture wins against other clans near their level, and some of them have lower win percentage game win percentage against also the clans near the level. So I think in the end it could still vary by a lot, and it could really go down to some critical stages where if they win their fixture they will gain a lot of cups, and that will propel them to dazzling heights. But at the moment it's these top 8. I do think it will change a lot in the next few pre-skill tournaments. I'll be streaming BPS tomorrow, so we will see how BPS is going to play. It's going to be really interesting. I have yet to send my interview. I will send my interview in, but don't worry if anyone from BPS. Hello.
I want to say, I'm back. I'm watching the stream.
Yeah.
I saw a question. Yeah, I saw a question from Kraken. First of all, I want to ask him, who are you? The second,
Kraken, don't take it the wrong way. Nikita is very blunt. That's all.
The second thing I wanted to say is, if people, whatever the people think, right? If they say, "Oh, 77s are bad," the game was quite close. It was thrown at many stages, even though it still was winnable for us, all the way until the end. Just the guy picked at the wrong moment. He decided to take a Russian roulette. No, but it didn't work. He didn't need to, but yes, it was all the way until the end. It was a winnable game.
What game's that,
The
Nikita?
meta, I wanted to
Nikita, what game was that?
Against the Southern Turks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, the meta. What is meta? Meta is what people think the tanks that are good, and and what they, well, not what they want to play, because I don't think anyone wants to play E5. E5 is good. E5 is a meta tank, but so is all other heavies, because they've been meta, and nothing much happened to them. It's just that E5 got buffed quite a lot, but in my opinion, from being a garbage tank, he just became a really good clone war tank because of the reactive armor, because of the EP, and because of survivability. Not talking about the armor. I7 is a tank which is has high RNG if you shoot at him. Probably the highest RNG in the entire game, more than T22. As well as having good alpha. So killing a one-shots, he's way better than E5. Sustain, he has lots of sustain as well as face hugging. So it comes to how you play the tank and what you use this tank for, rather than just taking all E5s and going there. You just say, oh,
plus the
take
IS7
E5 and go there. Well, then obviously it's better to take E5s, because E5 is like a universal type. But so is I7, so is IS4, because they're also quite fast. They have armor. They don't have gun depression though. But if you see the picture, what you want those tanks to do, you could see that i7 is clearly better, because i7 can just drive at you and try to pen it with all your shots, because some of your shots will bounce.
And not only that, Nikita, I mean, the IS-7 has good mobility compared to the things like the IS-4.
Yes.
It does have better mobility. And it's an interesting one, because a lot of people do underrate the IS-7. And I think the IS-7, in the right hands, is a formidable tank. And we're talking, pro players here in the right hands. And they know how to angle it, they know how to side scrape it, and they know how to use it.
Yeah, sorry, just one more thing. Max Verstappen said he forgot to take your engine boost. Well, that just kind of shows how you're not prepared for the Clan Wars. That you're not even checking your loadout.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, though. I mean,
No,
I do sometimes forget it.
It should not happen.
That's
Because,
true,
it should not. It really should not happen, because whenever you're playing E5, for example, I do tell the people in my team what they should take. So, because in some maps, for some certain situations that I want this tank to be in, for example, I actually will not give example, but there is sometimes when I tell my spies to take reactive armor and adrenaline, and not speed boost.
He even tells us what equipment to load.
Yes. That is
Right.
That is very true indeed. And then
serious.
there's also some other tanks. There's some other tanks. E3, we do use it. Other teams don't. Well, that's because E3, again, you have to see the picture. What you want this E3 to do? Like, will he be useful or will he be useless? Right? And he also has the speed boost and the accuracy. Well, we've been playing E3 on the new bay, and there you don't need accuracy. Therefore, 2 repair kits are way better than having just 1.
I mean, Nikita did bring up some really good points about tank selection and in tournaments. Well, I mean, as much as I really hate to see IS-7 in tournaments because of the gun mainly, but if you can make it work in certain situations, and what Nikita says about the mobility and also the armor, and if it actually fit into your agenda, then I think that tank you're taking can be a really good tank. And you can see other clans, for example, like every 215B, some clans seldom take it, but you can see, like, for example, Mercy, Pashok in the 215B is a very popular tank for him. Some people take different tanks because that tank has a really good, really big advantage in certain aspects, and they want to make the most of it. And I could see how IS-7 can be argued in some situations. Like, sorry.
I just want to interject one thing, because we're talking meta, and I know you're talking tank this and tank that.
Yeah.
Last year, the whole of last year, I can guarantee you virtually every makeup of every team. It was going to be either an E5, a load of E4s, possibly on some maps double 50Bs, scattering at T22s, and Vickers lights, and that was the meta. Those were the tanks. You had hardly any variation across the board. And when I say you had mouses on certain maps as well, but that was it. And that was across the board, be it Asia, CIS, EU, or NA. That was it. And I'm just looking at your screen at the moment. And look, I mean, in your middle screen, you got HLV, Asia, every single person apart from, and the Kraken came in late. But you've got 3 tanks. They're all bloody E5s. Look on the next map. You've got Endgame, E5s, and there's a T22. And then you've got Pramo, mostly E5s, but there's an E100. I think it's a really, really good thing that the clans across all servers that I've seen are experimenting with different meta. So I've seen, for example, Endgame taking a grill. I saw them take a grill. I've seen them take 215Bs. I'm seeing Vale, and they're not the only clan taking IS-7s and E3s.
T57 heavy.
And the T57 heavy. And I think it's a good thing that clans are experimenting with the meta that we've got. Because you don't want to just see a shed load of E5s and IS-4s with a sprinkling of Vickers to spot. It's boring.
Yeah, it is really. I mean, it's really good to see other different tanks because I do think other tanks are not like way worse than the commonly perceived tanks in Clan Wars, such as IS-4 or the T-110E5. A lot of different tanks have their own advantage. I mean, we also saw T-62A from Vale, which is a really welcoming choice
I've
because
seen an
I do.
Object 140 from Endgame.
Oh
and,
yeah,
you know, it's good that they're experimenting with this. And all I would say is, don't get stuck, guys, in the belief that they're not taking E5s or IS4s, therefore they're not trying. That's just wrong. It's you know, the strats. If everybody takes E5s, IS4s, then everybody's going to know what everybody's going to do.
yeah.
It's that predictable. The clans are experimenting with different strats, different meta to get that edge. And I think that's something that should be applauded. And you should never turn around and think, oh, they're not trying, or oh, this is bad, because I don't think it is. And I for one, want to see more use of the tier 10 tanks, not just E5s, IS4s, and mouses on and mouses on Dynasty's Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, even like if you can make an M48 pattern work, I do want to see that happening because it will be very interesting. M48 pattern, if someone can make that tank work, I will be very excited to see.
I'm sorry to say, there is no need when there is STB.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point.
That's
another tank that people have been using, STB.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen lots of clans using STB, and this is the thing. You know, it's fantastic that we're getting to see different moves around the meta, and it's about bloody time. I'm telling you.
Yeah. But I mean, if you can make some really niche, some really non-mainstream tier tanks work, then we are all here for that. I mean, not even
anything,
just
anything.
Well,
works.
if you want if you want that, speak to Chobham.
Chop Tam. Yeah, I will go.
He'll bring in a Mark 6 and a Progetto wherever he can.
Yeah. Oh, I think we are seeing also a resurgence in double Progetto lately as well. Which
and why not? And why not? I mean,
I really love it.
I really love it. Working. People like that. People will run that, and you know, it's being a staple in the team. Okay, it's got once you're unloaded your clip, you've got really pants DPM, and you're vulnerable. But why not run double Progettos? You've got speed, you've got DPM, you've got a lot of things going for you. So why not?
Yeah, I do love double Progettos as well. That's why my Progetto win rate is so high because I
don't
usually
say that too much. Chopping it, go on and on about it.
No, I mean, double Progettos in a really good platoon. Like if both of them work together really nicely, it can be very lethal. I can assure that.
Absolutely, and I've seen how lethal it can be. I mean, go back and have a look at one of the Vale games on. I can't remember who we were playing on Castilla. And look at the meta that we used on that map.
Right.
And you go back and look at that. And Nikita, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember who we played. We used IS7s, double Progettos, and boy, were they effective. I mean, if you have a look at where they put the IS7s
against Loka.
Against Loka. I mean, look at that game. If you want to discount meta, and you say, "Oh, these tanks are not working," go and look at that game because that game is unbelievable, and it just goes to show that you can use Progettos and you can use IS7s and be very, very effective.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
really good.
He's very right. And whenever like it always depends on the map, right? It's not all maps are suitable for all tanks. That's why you don't see TDs on most of the maps because the games are rather fast paced and TDs like slow paced games. But there is many tanks that are really underrated because of the way people think what happens. But here's another thing, right? What people think should happen or like could happen is a big difference to what actually happens because what majority of the players They're just players. They're not leading their team. They're not calling. All right. They might make self-discipline, but leading is a bit different. So whoever is calling, whoever is leading the team, they see rather a bigger picture. Whenever they see something that is unusual, they do realize it. They do realize what this tank most likely where it will be, and they do realize that it is a problem. If you see double 50B on Castilla, you do realize where they could be. You can say it's a weak tank, maybe, but do realize that it is a problem because you have to work around the fact that the enemy team has 2 50Bs or 2 Progettos or whatever they have, TDs. Right? Because Raid likes to use these on Castilla, and everybody knows the position of TDs. And this is what you have to think about. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, very true indeed. I mean, before I ignore the chat completely and hopefully not have everyone leave the stream because I'm not interacting. Kuya asked a question about my thoughts on the standard on the winter or summer season versus the traditional spring and twister season, and do I think that winter or summer seasons over time will be as competitive? I think that would really depend on the prize pool. I think currently the prize pool for the winter season is the same as 2020 spring, if I remember correctly, and that will really depend on. Is it the same or is it not?
No, it's a bit less.
It's less.
Okay,
It's less.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, but then if you compare it to, I mean, hopefully spring we have more have a higher price pool, and yeah, it will become even more competitive. But I think so far winter season we are seeing right now is quite competitive already, although some clans might not put as much. I don't want to belittle any clans here, but comparatively, just say, I'll put it this way, comparatively they may not put as much effort as in the winter season than let's say in the twister season, and but that might change if we adjust the price pool accordingly. So if we have very high price pool in the next few years in the winter season, then I think it will be a lot more competitive. It'll be very competitive.
Well, just going back to that, Jack. If that is true, that some clans may not be putting 100% effort in, they'll do so at their peril, because there are other clans there that are now challenging, and it's as I said earlier. Vale, we only started bringing the team together in December. This tour started in January, and look where we are now, and we're just getting stronger and stronger. If there are clans out there that are like, we'll put all our effort into spring, they may have missed the boat. Just remember that, guys. You may miss that boat. Because these clans that you're seeing in winter will only get stronger. They will not get weaker. Unless, of course, that everybody leaves. Then that's a different kettle of fish. but what you're seeing in the top 8, with the exception of 1 or 2, and sorry, APA, I have to say that, because you've had an easy ride in this tour so far, to be fair. You got a lot of cups when you played your second team, and it was a turnover. So you have had an easy ride to an extent. But aside from that, the other clans are ultra competitive, and they're just going to get stronger. I'm telling you. Yeah,
and the screen I'm showing you right now, the game win percentage among teams in power rating. I think currently APA is the top 8 team with the lowest game win percentage among teams that are currently in the power rating. So
they got very lucky in PYS. What was it number 2 or number 3? I can't remember which one.
I think throughout
incredibly lucky.
I think throughout all the previous skill tournaments, in my opinion, they got really lucky with win rate seeding, in my opinion. But I mean, this graph as well, the number of fixture wins, I think they have the lowest amongst all top 8 clans in the leader in the power rating that are in the power rating, and they are currently in 4th in the leaderboard. So they are really lucky with the seeding they have so far, And
Like I
do
said,
think,
I mean,
yeah.
they got 6,000 cups, which is a lot of cups in the one game. I mean, the one, I can't remember which one it was, PYS2 or PYS3. They had a bye into the quarterfinal, and then they met their second team. And the second team just said, "Okay, you win." And I just no, this is. I just want to go back on this because it happened to Souls the other day.
Yeah.
And they lost. The Souls main team lost to their second team, by the way.
Very true.
So, which is why Souls weren't in the final of the PY, weren't in one of the finals. You know, so it can be done. So they had a lot of, they earned a lot of cups. They were very lucky in that tour. It's not APA's fault that they got a bye. It's not APA's fault that their team, you know, that they got to match up with their other team. All I'm saying is they got very lucky there. And, you know, so don't sit there thinking, APA, that you're going to have an easy ride, because you're not. And on the same token, Raid have had a bit of a shocker.
Oh, yeah, losing to
PYS4.
HSOP 02. I don't know why it happened in the first place, but that is really fishy.
Well, is it fishy? I mean, ASOP is a good team. It's full of the Winter War in Win guys. I mean, they're up for it. And boy, do they like fighting Raid. They do like fighting Raid. And Raid have had a wake-up call. Take it seriously, guys. Yeah. You know, you can't just cruise. This is no longer last year where you can't just cruise your way in anymore into the top 8. No. You can't do that. There are too many competitive clans.
Yes. And I do think that Raid, I think they have most of their core team also there, which in theory they should get even stronger. But we didn't really see that happening. We probably see that happening in previous skill, the third previous skill tournament, but not the fourth one. And at least, in my opinion, I think everyone should be expecting Raid to go really, really close with HSOP. We didn't see what happened exactly there, but kind of from the results, it doesn't look very promising.
Yeah, but the thing is, and this is the thing, as I said, Raid's modus is always been, let's just get into the top 8. Doesn't matter where we come. And we're almost guaranteed to be in the top 8 one way or another. Okay?
Yeah.
That's changed. There are far too many competitive clans now.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't wake up to this thinking that top 8 is always a guarantee for us, then Raid aren't going to be there. It's as simple as that. And I like Raid. I've got nothing against them. Just saying, guys, you need to wake up, because if you don't wake up, then you're going to be overtaken, because you've got the likes of Immor and Serenity nipping at your heels.
Loka
and everybody and Loka. And everybody wants those spots. So you can't just cruise your way into the top 8 this season. You just can't do it.
They have to work hard. Although I do think they will be in the top 8 in the end, but I think same goes to GV, that they cannot underestimate the competitiveness in the server.
Exactly.
In their own server.
Correct. And you know, this is not last season.
No.
And last season was, you know, we could sit here and say, we already know the top 8. It's the usual suspects. This season you can't do that.
Especially Asia server, I must say, this season has become a lot more competitive. Like the last season, you can not qualify to the next day and still be like in the top 8. But no, like every tournament is going to be important.
When you say that, I mean, look at just literally going back to EU. On your screen at the moment on YouTube, you've got your leaderboard. End game at the top, 26,500 points. BHBP at 20th place on 19,000.
Yeah.
Endgame just need to lose one game tomorrow and not progress in the top in the first round.
Yeah.
BHP just need to progress, win the final, go into the next day and win the final. That will, let's just say, that gives them 26,000. That gives them 6,000 odd cups. 7,000 cups. That means they can, in theory, overtake Endgame. I mean, there's lots of other clans in there, of course, but that's how close it is. It's one tour. one PYS, and it's so close. It's on between 1 to 20. It's nothing.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. You cannot cruise your way into the top 8.
Nope.
It's not going to happen. It's far too close for that.
Yeah. Yes, actually kind of like ignoring everyone in the chat and also like the people that are here currently. I think that Dufori has also been following the EU scene as well. So maybe you have some takes on, let's say, our top 8, because kind of our main topic is around what do you think the top 8 for the EU server in the end will be. So the Dufori, what do you think about this? Or is it... hello Shogun, hello Fame. I was going to say hello to everyone. I don't think that Dufori is responding. Yay!
I'm just here for Innerman.
Oh yeah, poor Innerman's not here. That's why people are leaving.
No, I mean, just to sum it up, I don't have any favorites. I don't really want to get into particulars because the matches you've seen, they can be quite shocking, and as far as upsets, and it's really competitive. So, any given Sunday.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. I totally agree with him there. It's you cannot call this early. No. There are too many clans that are playing too well. I'm telling you. And we can't turn around and say, oh, the top 8 is going to be X, Y, and Z at this moment in time. How many PYSs we got? We're halfway through.
Yes.
We're only halfway through. And I'm expecting these leaderboards to change. I'm expecting them to change massively.
A lot. Massively, yeah. I mean, if we go to the power ratings, just like the EU server, the 5th to the, let's say, even the 14th position, like the chances in the top 8 is still like 50-50. Like all of the clans below Turks have a decent chance of breaking into the top 8. Like, yeah, don't let the numbers fool you.
Absolutely, exactly.
It's a big toss-up.
Don't let the numbers fool you. Yeah, it's so tight.
Very tight.
Don't sit there thinking, oh, this is a done deal, because it isn't at the moment. No. Nowhere near.
Very true indeed. And I think, well, I mean, we can move on to the next one. Last is AFK saying, too long didn't read, Endgame will win. I do think Endgame has a really good team. I think they have really good games. But
Last AFK is not biased.
Base claim, it's a base claim, but do I say
He's
Endgame
will...
Yeah.
He's biased. Come on, Last AFK, you know you're biased.
Yeah. What do you mean by you need to look at what fixture? I mean, what do you mean by that statement? If you can give more elaboration on that, well, that might be good, so I can actually answer your kind of like your query. But Endgame, I don't think they're solid yet in winning the entire server, but I still think they have a really good chance. Like 90, like top 8, they're like way ahead of other clans in the rating. Like I do think, yeah, they have a good chance in winning the entire thing. But will it be easy? I don't think so. I think they still have a long way to go, but I think they will in the end. I hope that in the end they will secure. I do think that in the end they will secure, but it's not going to be easy at all.
Well, again, clans will only get stronger as the tournament progresses.
Yes.
They will not get weaker. And they will adapt. They will go back. They will look at the streams, some of them, and they will see. They'll try and identify the weaknesses, and they will only get stronger.
Yeah.
Except Immor, because they've got Innerman, so they'll just get weaker.
This is why Innerman needs to join the stream, because
I know it's just brilliant. At the moment, Innerman's not here. We can just rip into him. Sorry, Cougar. You know I love him more, and you know I love your clan, but Innerman.
True.
It took me by surprise when I streamed them the other day. I was like, no, it can't be. Really? Is it? That's like, What's happening here? When did Innerman join him, or when did Cougar let Innerman join him, or?
Right.
So, I don't really know that.
Yeah, we also got we also have people from NA server watching this stream as well, so I think we should also include them into the fray. I mean, I plan to have them in as well. But NA server, I'm going to talk about NA server now because NA server for me, in my opinion, is I'm really sorry to say, but it's much less competitive than, let's say, the likes of the Asia or the EU server. Because currently, I think it's really down to the only spots for the top 8, and that's that. My top 8 guess will be Primal, GG, Apex, Hated, Naps, Purple, Pincer, and also Void. I think it's the same top 8 as we are seeing on the leaderboard, and I think the NA server, I think they have okay seeding, and that's why clans. I mean, you can see all the top 8 teams, they have higher number of fixture wins against one another in the power rating. And also the game win percentage is also all of the top 8 teams currently you're seeing higher than any other teams in the power rating. So I think at the moment you're seeing right now the top 8, I do think it's going to be the final top 8. And the power rating also, 7 teams have more than 60% of securing a top 8 spot. It's just down to the last spot where I think it's going to be down to between Straight, Purple, and CPG. And I do think it's pretty much like that. And I'm really sorry to say, but the competition is relatively less fierce than other servers. But I don't know what you guys think about this.
Well, I mean, just looking at Pincer, okay, they're not safe. Okay.
Yeah, not completely.
No, they're not safe. No, you know, when you look at from 5 to 11, they're not safe. Is the honest answer. So, I mean, I would turn around and say the top 4 are gonna be in the top 8. That's Pramo, Naps, APX, and my clan, GG.
Yep.
Void, Hated, Pincer, and Purple are not guaranteed that top 8 spot. And Pincer have got to be careful because they already missed out last season in autumn for top 8.
Top 4.
Because
Pincer,
top 4, sorry. No, they missed out. Yeah, they missed out on the top. You got CPG and Straight. They're only 1,000 cups behind. That's nothing when there's only half the tour gone. Moonmen, MM. I mean, they played well last year. They not particularly shined this year, but they're only 1,500 away. So you've still got 3 clans. I know it's not as competitive because you're not looking at 20 clans all pretty close to each other. But you've got 3 clans there that can cause major upsets to that top 8. True. And again, the days, even on NA, the days of cruising your way into the top 8 have gone.
Yeah, they have to fight for it. Obviously,
they do have to fight for it, and that is the thing. And I'm looking at the percentages here. I mean, Void 59%. They're at 5th, yet their rating, they haven't won a lot of their games.
Mm-hmm.
Their CP is 59%. That's their performance. The ratio of victories is only 59%. That's low for a top 8 clan. I mean, when you look at Pramo is 85%, Naps is 72%, APX is 76%, GG that's the top 4 at 72%. Then we got Void at 5th with 59%. Purple with 58% down in 8th.
I think that was I think that was the old power rating table that you were seeing. Like I kind of updated the
No. This is Wargaming's official clan performance.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not looking at yours. I'm looking at Wargaming's official, and there's the CP that Wargaming have put out onto the official server.
Yep,
is the ratio of victories by the best teams of the clan to the number of battles they fought in a season.
Yes.
So 59% Void at 5th. Now, if I go down to the middle echelon, and this is where it gets, Straight of 52, MM of 52, CPG are only 48, so but straight in MM could break into that top 8 if Void continue with their only average CP. Then it's not guaranteed, guys. So whilst you say it's not as competitive, it's still bloody competitive over there.
Yeah, we also have Yarrow here, so we can ask him about his opinions about the NA server. What do you think? Silent.
Honest.
Quiet.
I really don't know what to say. I mean, first the 6th, 7th, and 8th change, but other than gonna be the same in top 5. And the problem I see is brackets, because in Pro Skill 4 there was only 30 teams, and from our side we got unlucky and we faced Apex, not even in quarterfinals, because we couldn't even go to the next day. And then, for example, Void got an easier bracket from the other side, and
oh yeah,
they
that's
went to the
true.
next day. So that's why we lost like a lot. And it's just like brackets are weird. That's all I can really say.
But I think the NA server, the brackets are a lot less weird, let's say, on the EU server, where EU server is just, oh my god. I feel very sorry for HXY, because absolutely they faced the really strong clans in the in the quarterfinals in the group stage twice. I do think they will be competitive in the challenges, but like the seeding really hurt them, and then NA server is a lot better apart from Surge really messing up with the seeding in the last 2 previous skill tournaments, which I really hate to say. But apart from that, those teams are seeded somewhat properly when you talk about the likes of the Asia server or the EU server. So I don't know. I think any server, I don't know what more to add, but right. The 100% win rate account, very, very true. I think the clans who take the 100% win rate account probably is really insecure about their chances in the top 8, and I think they will pay for really making use of that 100% win rate account in the end. Like,
who's that?
A lot of clans, like a lot of clans are using 100% win rate account to boost their seeding.
And last AFK has just mentioned it, and I just want to clarify this now. I have it on good authority. This is the last tour. This will be an advantage. Okay, so let them lap it up, because it means nothing going forward after this tour. So I tell you what, if clans with 100% win rate thinking that using this is going to give them an advantage, it won't going forward. It will in this tour, yes, but this tour was thrown together. To be fair, going into the spring season and onwards, there's no point in getting 100% win rate players. No point at all, because it will mean absolutely jack. They will gain no benefit. Is what Jack in the UK means nothing. Not Jack as in Jack, but and those clans will need to reevaluate their strategies, because it will start to show. It will start to show.
I do actually echo with Valve. I do think the real competitiveness on the NA server will show when it's on the Winter Season Championship, where the contest for the top 4. I think it will be really exciting to see. I won't say it's going to be not competitive at all. I think it's going to be extremely competitive. It's just really the top 8. It's really not as competitive as other servers. But when you talk about getting the top 4, when you're in the top 8, I think it's going to be as competitive, if not more competitive, than Asia or even the EU server. And I think Asia server, I think their top 8 is currently really competitive, but their top 4, probably the last spots in the top 4 will be very competitive. But apart from that, I think Asia's top three will be pretty much the clans we are expecting, unless other clans have stepped up massively, which could happen because we saw Team ID, HLV, also even Feast lost to clans below them like multiple times, so it can also be really competitive. Trying to get into the top four. EU obviously, like I think the top four endgame is pretty much the only clan that we can pretty much all agree with that they probably will be the top four. But surprises can still happen, so you never know. But I do think endgame it's going to be a top four candidate. And
well, I'm looking forward. I mean, I'm streaming Aqua this PYS, and I am looking forward. If they come across endgame, how that is going to pan out, to be honest with you, because I know Zerd's bunch are eager, and they are eager, and they're a good team. They've got great players, and they've already played endgame once, I believe. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was the fourth proof of skill tournament where they lost 0-2, if I remember correctly.
That's correct. They did.
Yeah.
But I'm because Aqua are growing throughout this tour. They are growing, and again, I mean, it's only 1,500 cups between Aqua and EG. And what was interesting, if Turks would have beaten EG the other day in PYS 4, they would have overtaken EG.
True.
That's how close it still is.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think there's any danger of EG not being in the top 8, and I don't think there's any danger of EG not being in the top 4. But it's who else is joining them, and are the other clans going to start stepping up now? We're past the halfway mark. That is the thing.
Oh, the thing.
That's why. And it's the same with Asia. I mean. HLV are nipping. They're only 200 cups behind ID.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't think ID's got any danger of going out of the top 8, nor of HLV. No. But when you've got clans nipping at your heels, and there isn't that much in it, there's not a lot of daylight between all these clans. You only need, and I keep going back to this, as we saw with BPS and Raid more notably, because they were riding high in 4th place going into PYS 4. And now they're in danger of falling out of the top 8. That's a big thing.
Very true indeed. Very, very true. I mean, also, okay, let's actually have to double check my leaderboard, because I do think I got something wrong with, is that ENT? Because I might have gotten ENT's number cups wrong, which I did.
No, they got 22,992.
Yeah, so I got it wrong, so I should update that after tonight. I mean,
Feast is wrong as well, because Feast has got 23,237.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, they are right. Yeah, no, yeah. You got ENT wrong. It's 992, not 680.
True. Yeah, I got it right on the power rating though. That's right.
That's what I'm saying though. I mean, you can see how close all this is.
Yes, very true. I'm going to bring the deal for you to talk about the NA server as well. I mean, you also are following the NA server comp scene. So, what do you think about the top 8 currently?
I think it's still gonna have, some mix up in the bottom part. Obviously, the top 4 are pretty much locked in my opinion. I think that once we get the top 8 established, then you're gonna see a lot more interesting gameplay, in my opinion.
Yes.
I think the bottom guys are kind of scratching for the wild card, so to speak. Once they establish that chance, then, like I said, I think the games are going to get interesting, because I think I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think the brackets have been really competitive as of yet. So, once they start matching up with more teams of similar skill,
Yep.
I think the gameplay and the outcomes are going to be very different than what we've seen so far. Aside from Pramo,
I mean, Premo has been pretty dominant, but they got beaten by Apex twice 2-0, if I remember correctly. So they are totally not safe of securing the top spot yet. Although they have the highest number of cups compared to other clans on different servers, the top clan on other servers. So, but still, they are beatable. Premo is
well,
beatable.
but again, that kind of reaffirms what I said about once the teams start matching up, we're gonna see some shakeup in the standings, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, also talking about the NA server, I think what surprised me the most is actually Naps. Really didn't see that coming, and I think I think I only know them as like the second team of GG, but currently they are now ahead of GG in terms of number of cups. They are also ahead of GG in my power rating. I think they are also ahead of GG in the game win percentage amongst the teams that are in the power rating, and also they are also ahead of GG by quite a lot in the number of fixture wins amongst other teams in power rating. So it's kind of weird to say that Naps it's like GG's second team or something like that. Or they're like a completely different entity and they're just affiliated with GG. I think that is the letter I'm talking about. I think it's more accurate to what the entire situation is. So Naps is really exciting to watch, and I think I will stream them one time, hopefully, and hopefully see how they play. And I'm really excited to see how Naps is going to pan out in the top 8 in the end. I think they are really a team to watch, and yeah, so I think it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, they seem to have some good, strategies or good teamwork. So like obviously it looks like they've been practicing or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Fame said that they have put more work than GG. He thinks. And goodbye to Fujit. Thank you for joining in. Yes, sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I think Hate It is doing okay, and I would like to see them do a little bit better. So I hope they don't get knocked out of the top 8.
I think they're doing better than 2020 Autumn, that's for sure. 2020 Autumn, they were like flirting with the top 8, and in the end, they didn't qualify. But this season, they have beaten some of the clans near them. Like, yeah, it's really good. I mean, power rating, they're in 5th. Like, they have a really solid chance.
Yeah, I think Void is kind of sleepwalking through it, and I think at this stage, I don't really think they're safe. I think they're really probably more at risk than some other teams.
Yeah, I think but they have a lot of cops to kind of shield them, or sort of like a cushion. There's a big cushion in the number of cops they are pulling away from the 9th placing team, but that's because they have really good seeding. But CPG also have really good win rate seeding, as really good average team win rate. Probably they're just playing against teams that are near their level in the quarterfinals or semifinals, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the teams that to kind of keep an eye on or at risk or whatever you want to call it would obviously be Purple and Straight 8. So
yeah, Straight 8 is I think they still have yet to prove their worth yet. I think
you could say the same thing about Purple, in my opinion.
Not really. I think Purple, they have won already against some of the clans already. If I can go back, Straight only won against Apex 2-0, and I think maybe other team near them, but I think 2-1. But yeah, that's like the only results they have proven so far. But if we talk about Purple, Purple has won Hated 2-1. Unfortunately lost to Pincer 0-2, which I mean that game was just really sad to see. First game they have someone AFK and in the middle of the match when they were winning. The second match just was really close with them. They could also win that, and they won CPG 2-1, which is really good. Won MM 2-1, which is also very nice. Only barely lost to Apex 1-2, which can show how strong Purple can be. And if we talk about straight, I think they won Void 2-1. But apart from that, they lost to most of the clans 0-2, and yeah, that's like the only result they have. And they won Apex 2-0, and that's kind of like the two only matches where they have won at least one match. So I think straight is still very unproven at this stage, and we'll have yet to see the best of straight, to be honest with you. We also got Emma right here as well. But yeah, I think straights. I think if they want to get into top 8, they really need to start performing, because I think at the moment they are really blessed by the seeding they have. But so far, it can only get them far. If they don't start performing in the next few Push of Skill tournaments, then they will suffer. I think Purple are trying their best. I really want to see Purple there in the end, but I do think they will have a hard time. I do think they will barely make it in the end, but anything can still happen, as Yarrow said in the last 4 previous Skill tournaments. Although being said, I think the top 7 is pretty much secure. Although Hated has around 1,000 cups more than CPG, and also Hated has really good win rate seeding, but it only takes like a really bad day to put you back in the draw of fighting for a top 8 spot.
Well, I want to hear your opinion on PP Suck. Do you think that they can make the top 8?
PP Suck, no. Honestly, don't think they can. They haven't beat any of the top 11 clans if I remember correctly. I think the clans they have beaten some like Better and also Rifle, which aren't even close to the top 8. I don't think so. I don't think they will stand a good chance. Gosu, I do see some really promising stuff, but do you think they probably won't stand a good chance in the top 8? So pretty much the top 11. I think MM also, like, they haven't started performing yet. I do think they can be a lot more competitive than they are suggesting themselves to be. I really hope to see them fighting for a spot.
I'm interested on why you're reasoning why you think MM can be more competitive.
Well, at least they have beaten. They lost to Better, yes, but if we go and look at MM's results, they barely lost to Void 1-2. They've beaten straight 2-0, and other results. I'm going to actually do a better search, because like it doesn't highlight stuff. I don't know. Come on, why doesn't it highlight anything? Yeah. Other than that, other results. They beat an SLG 2-0, but that's also a clan that wasn't really going for a top 8. But yeah, they've beaten some of the clans near the level. Where they're supposed to be. I don't think PP Suck ever did. So, above their level. So, I just think they will have a hard time breaking the top 8. Yeah, it's not secure at all, but at least like Void, Pincer, and Hated can reliably beat clans below them. Bar from Void, I would say. Void, probably not. But they also have really good seeding, and they have a lot of cups to cushion So realistically, I do not see how Pincer, Hated, or even Void dropping out of top 8 unless they stop performing. That's what I think. Unless they stop performing. And then I would say then they will need to fight for the top 8. But at the moment, I think Pincer and Hated has continuously showed that they are top 8 worthy. If you can go to Hated's results, yeah, they might have a 200% win rate account, but they have reliably beaten. Well, I mean, they've beaten Pincer 2-1, beaten Straight 2-0. Yeah, they lost to CPG 0-2, lost to Purple 1-2, beaten CPG once again, beaten Pincer 2-0, beaten Naps 2-0. That's an interesting one. I mean, they've started to beat CPG consistently. And yeah, they even lost to Pramble just only 1-2 and twice. That is to say, twice. I mean, they have. I mean, they faced Pramble a lot of times, and boy, it wasn't really like a total walkover for Pramble. They really showed that they could. They have the performance to support that they are top 8 worthy. I do think Purple might lose the top 8 in the end, but I do think they will make it in the end. I think out of like CPG and Straight, I think Purple stand the best chance in top 8. I think CPG, they started really well, but they fizzle out as the previous skill tournaments come. I think that is really dangerous for CPG, although I'm in CPG, but yeah. But I do think like Straight hasn't shown us that they are a top 8 team yet, because the only team they have beaten is Apex, just 2-0, and the only other win in the fixture, not the only other win in the match, and they still lose to 1-2. I think it's against, I forgot the clan, but other than that, they consistently lose 0-2 to other clans. So I think Straight, if they want to break into top 8, they really need to work really hard. But for Pincer, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think they have some results to support them. They are top 8. Just I mean, only barely losing to Apex 1-2, beating Purple 2-0 twice, losing to Nap 0-2, losing to Hated, losing to Naps 1-2 once again, but beating Straight, CPG, only barely losing to Primal 1-2. I mean, that game I streamed, it was a very good game for them. It was a bit hard for them to take. I mean, they also lost to Apex 1-2 as well. So yeah, the performance do support Pincer to be a top 8 team. Yeah. So Sam saying HSOP a BTEC win. I don't understand what you're trying to say. But I do think HSOP, they are very inconsistent, because on the first day lost to RNG 0-2. On the third day, in the final stage, they lost to SYS 1-2, which I think they should be able to win. Pincer is also a new team, yes. But you guys actually beat Apex quite a couple of times in quick tournaments, if I remember correctly. Although it's not a good indicator, as I have to repeat a lot of times, which I have no clue about any training results of other teams, because no one sent me. So lower level version, yeah, I would say so, because HSOP is an amalgamation of Win and also Winter War. I'm not going to belittle Winter War, but it's just like a combination of like a top 8 team consistently and a top 16 team. So I don't know, if you do the maths, like when you average out, it's going to be like in between. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything really, but that's the only thing I could refer to, because there are no other tournaments to look at other than quick tournaments at that point, before the winter season. We don't even have a season coins tournament. We don't even have something similar to that. They are not revealing, but at least they do show that they have what it takes they know they can beat. It's like when you keep on losing 0-2 to endgame, and then definitely you know that they have no chance against endgame. But when you have like occasionally one game win, or like even a 2-0 win, 2-1 win, at least you know that they are somewhat they are not that far in terms of their ability. So quick tournaments the results there could only be taken with a grain of salt. Do I see Loka coming back to top 8? I have to actually ask them to stream them, but top 8. I think it will be hard. They are 1,000 cups behind. I think really the seeding is really hurting them. They are not really delivering. I mean, especially the last two previous skill tournaments against the teams they should be beating, losing HSOP 0-2, not good at all. Serenity 1-2, very unlucky one for them. But Loka, I think they still have what it takes to be in top 8, but they not only have to work hard, but they also need the luck factor as well. They have to rely on some of the clans in the top 8 to have a really bad day and then get out of the top 8. I mean, time is running short for Loka, but I still think they have a chance in the top 8, but I think it's going to be a big uphill battle for them. I mean, if you see in the power rating, they are at the edge of the top 8, so do I think they have a fighting chance? I think they still have. But at the moment they look like a borderline top 8 team, and if you can see the game win percentage among teams in the power rating, Loka is currently like around 50%, and it's like so. And but if you talk about fixture wins among teams, there are only 5 of them, and one game lower than Serenity and Souls, one game higher, just only one game higher than BPS and Veil. So if they don't start to win a lot of games now, like if they don't go to the level of like Aqua or Turks, then I do think they will struggle getting into the top 8. Not because they are playing bad, because the seeding is really not helping them at the moment. Maybe that will change in the next 4 previous skill tournaments. I do think they have a really good team, and I do think they have a good chance in securing that spot in the end. But I think the odds are against them. Prediction for the bottom 2 teams in top 8 if the standings stay as they are. So if you're talking about Endgame Turks, APA Aqua, APA Carnage, Veil, Raid, and BPS, I think APA. I am really biased against APA, but I think the stats really show that APA doesn't have a good track record. Yes, they might have beaten Raid 2-1 and Aqua 2-1 once, but I think that's the only 2 wins they have against teams in the power rating table. I don't think they have won any other clans, if I can recall, which I have to double check. On the EU server, first day, the first day they won Raid 2-1, lost to Souls 1-2, and then if we go down, lost to Raid 1-2 once again, lost to Serenity 0-2. I streamed that. That was just a very convincing win from Serenity. APA didn't really stand a chance in that game. They won Aqua 2-1. They won Red T 2-0, that's important, but they lost to Turks 0-2, lost to Aqua 0-2 next. And I think they have a chance, but they have a chance. I think it's going to be. I think they probably will be one of the bottom 2 teams. I mean, look at the power rating; they are currently at the 11th spot. I think the next one might be Veil. I think I will go with the power rating there. I think Veil is also somewhat of an inconsistent clan as well. they've lost to Red T12, which is a really surprising result. They won Carnage 2-1, that is to say, but they also, they won Local 2-0, but now they're not in the top 8. That's kind of a different story. I don't know, APM Vel, I do think it's going to be really close in the end. I think BPS would be a candidate for that as well. But I do think like other clans would be fine. Carnage, I do say, is also a candidate. I think it really goes down to whether Carnage can be in the good consistent side. Because when they play well, they can be really good, really strong. But when they don't perform, that is down to their communication problems. Then that form would really put them into the last 2 spots. Same for BPS. I think same for APA, BPS, Veil as well. It will be between APA, Carnage, Veil, and also BPS, that bottom 2. But I do think I will go with my power rating. It will be APA and Veil, in my opinion. And I'm really happy to see, not really happy, but really intrigued to see Veil bring back the i7. Because I always criticize the i7 in tournaments because the gun, when you're talking about the current meta where you are seeing loads of rotations where you have to make decisions very quickly, and you really have to make use of a gun that doesn't have terrible accuracy when you move. IA7 would not fit to that agenda, and Veil did kind of show IA7 can work at certain moments when you're doing some holding maneuvers and so on. What I mean, or what you're talking about? Oh, maybe Innerman's going to join soon. Yes. Come on, Innerman, join. Yori 12 saying i7, but yeah, i7 is heavy and armored, but it will work really well when you're trying to defend. When you're playing a very defensive strategy, then i7 can work really well. But other than that, the gun is really it's really hard to control when you're talking about a very mobile meta. And I think Veil is the way that Veil plays is probably, I don't know, I think it might be inaccurate to say they are really passive. They are not. I don't think they are passive. Yeah, but it's really mobile as well. The i7, really mobile. But yeah. Hello, Bagel boys. Come. Winning medium flanks. A single i7 can win the game. I think it's potentially possible, but I think IS4 can do that job as well, because I do think IS7 doesn't have as good of an armor as IS4, in my opinion. And let's not talk about Sam's clan. I agree with that. E5 can be a really tough target to go for. Yes, IS4 acceleration is low, but when you're talking about holding a medium flank, winning a medium flank, IS4 would have a higher chance than IS7. Really, the mediums might have a hard time panning their shots into an IS4 rather than an IS7, in my opinion. Right. And let's see other messages. And also, for people watching this stream, I will be following Team ID tomorrow on the Asia server. EU server, I'll be following BPS, blah blah blah. And any server, I'll be following GG. And Assassin, don't disappoint me. I know a 40% killed you in randoms. And I know you can mess up really badly, but I'm sure you can do it, right? Yeah, I mean, why not? And I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad that a 40% killed you, but hello Object 3. Hello Rolling Swarm. Okay, so I'm going to run the slideshow once again. My top 8 guests currently is Feast, GV, on the Asia server, Team ID, GSM, E4D, HLV, and ENT. With EU server being Aqua, Veil, Raid, Endgame, APA, SOS, Turks, and Carnage. Any server, Pramble, GG, Apex, Hated, Naps, Purple, Pincer, and Void. The fixture wins amongst teams in power rating. I think Asia server and the NA server, I think, is somewhat representative. Asia server, there will be the team in question where they deserve the top 8 spot. But NA server, all top 8 teams you're seeing right now deserve the top 8 spot. But the EU server is a huge toss-up. You have clans Serenity, Souls, Loka, and HSOP not even in the top 8, despite having more fixture wins than Carnage, BPS, APA, and Veil. If you take a look at the game win percentage among the teams that are in the power rating table, yes, you're seeing Asia server, pretty much all the teams in the top 8 deserve their spot, apart from which is lower than Cats, RN, and EA. But NA server, all the teams in the top 8 deserve the spot in the top 8. I mean, all of them have higher game win percentage than other clans below them. And you see, the EU server, once again, it's kind of a mismatch when you talk about Serenity, SOS, Loka, and HSOP having higher game win percentage than Carnage, BPS, APA, and Veil, and they are not even in the top 8. And it kind of goes on to show that the win rate ceiling really hurts EU server a lot. And I really hope to see how much it's going to improve when it's not going to be implemented for the spring season. Power rating table, I think EU server is the most competitive server right now. The only solid clans I can say in the top 8 are Endgame, Aqua, and Turks. Raid likely in the top 8, but not a certainty. But other clans are a toss-up. You can see Serenity, BPS, Carnage, Loka, HSOP, SOS, APA, Veil, Immortals, and even to some extent Red Tier still in contention for a top 8 spot. Yeah, I really don't see like I really don't see Endgame, Aqua, Turks other than these 3 clans that are safe in the top 8, and yeah, probably APA and Carnage are leaning for a top 8 finish, but it's still really 50-50 for them. Asia server is also really competitive. I mean, you have 4 clans that I think will be solid in the top 8. ID, Feast, HLV, and ENT. You also have GV and E4D likely to be in the top 8, but then other than that, it's also a huge toss-up. GSM leaning to be in the top 8, but Cats, EA, RN, a big toss-up there. Just we don't even know where either clan here will be safe in the top 8. Any server, however, 7 clans with more than 60% in the top 8. I don't think the top 7 is going to be pretty secure. Primal, APX, Naps, GG, secure. I think solid in the top 4. Hated, Pincer, and Void likely to be the top 8. I mean, yeah, and then straight Purple and CPG will be the clans that are fighting for that last spot, and maybe MM would be in the mix. But yeah. No, Sape, APA win rate abuse helped them really helped them a lot though. I mean, currently they are 4th in the Cups leaderboard with 23,028 Cups. That being said though, they're just above SOS by around 600 Cups, so anything could still happen. So if they have one very bad previous skill to the moon, they could get out of top 8, and according to power rating table, they have a good chance in not being in the top 8. They are pretty low in the power rating, so anything could still happen. Rolling, okay. The win rate seeding, I got a proposal for that, but I think I will make a lot of amendments as well. Rackham. I think Rackham is. I think they are really lucky to have the seeding so far. But do I think that they are top 16 ready? No. I think they still have some distance to go. They are not consistent with, I mean, the clans near them and beating clans near them, to my opinion. I think Sparta, I think they're showing that they are top 16 worthy. XXY is really unlucky, and I do hope that they have a good drawing in the next 4 previous skill tournaments, because I'm sure that they have what it takes to be a top 16 clan. They went really close to Aqua 1-2, but really the odds are really against them, and we are talking about top 16, not top 8. So XXY are expected to lose against AQVA, but they met them so early in the previous Q tournament, so it's like it's really against them. BHPP, they had a really good day outing one time. They also have some really good players like Directy, Ahoidu, and also Yakovlev, which was in RTK before. So I mean Ahoidu in EZ, if I remember correctly, back in the day. So BHVP really they can aim for top 16, which is possible. Retsy, I think they might be sleepwalking out of top 16. They were previously in a lot of people's lists as a top 8 contender, but they so far haven't showed the top 8 form yet. They only beat Vale 2-1, but that's the only occurrence they've done. And SYS is a clan that is under a lot of heat at the moment, because there are accusations that they have used emulators, and even if they haven't used emulators, whether they're eligible for the Challengers Tournament or Winter Season Championship is in question, because most of the players, according to my information, are from the CIS region. So they will be breaking the rule of having no more than 2 foreign players in the team. And I don't know, maybe the final decision is to field a team in the end, which hasn't really played in that team, and then they are living in the EU region, and that is not what I want to see in the end, because we really want to see competition. We want to see a lot of good games going on, and then you suddenly have a clan which has a Russian team not buying, like getting the cups for them, the non CIS region team, and then suddenly you feel that non CIS region team, and it's just miles worse than what the CIS region team is. And then it's just not really good for the viewers' experience and experiences, so on and so forth. And if they are found out to be really using emulators in the end, I really hope that there is action against it, something like that. So Object 3, thank you for joining in, both Roaring Swarm and Object 3. Do we still have people in the chat so we can talk with? At the moment, only Dilfery is with me. So I don't know what you else want to add. And also, if you haven't joined my server already, I'm going to repeat. If you want to talk with me about your top 8, something like that, here I will give you my. I will copy my link. I have to go back up, way up, so I have to copy the new link, and let me see. That if we do have anything more to add?
Just gotta remember, I'm not people sometimes. No, I mean, the tournaments are, heating up. I think we got a lot more great play to look forward to be honest with you.
Very true indeed. Yeah, I would see a lot of really good stuff happening, and yeah, just let's see if there are some people. If you have any questions about this winter season, do ask. Do ask in the live chat, and if you want to join me talking about top 8 predictions for all 3 servers, then feel free to chip in. I'll be happy to talk. But apart from that, I don't know. Asia server, EU server is still really competitive. NA server pretty much set for the top 8. EU server, even the top 16 is really competitive. That is to say. So I mean, all the attention is on the top 8, but the top 16 equally. It's anyone's game, pretty much. Some clans not in this table can still hop into the top 16 if they have a really good day. Then they can really challenge the top 16. But I really don't see a clan. I don't really want to see a clan that's really. I mean, that is violating the rules to be in the next stage, and I think something that I think Wargaming should reconsider about allowing multiple teams to be playing under the same clan is that oh no, not that rules. The rule that you don't allow you don't allow more than 2 foreign players in a team. So I really hope Wargaming can reconsider that. I hope this rule applies to the first stage as well, the proof of skill tournaments. Because as I said, the problem is you can have a foreign team playing in the proof of skill tournaments, and then you have a second team which probably hasn't played at all, and then they still get the qualification to the next stage. That is to say, so if that is allowed, then does that mean we're going to see a much weaker team in the next stage because the first team isn't eligible? Then just field a much weaker second team. Then it's really bad for the viewership experience. But Wargaming did try to implement the rule of the team you see in the next stage must be the same team in the last 2 weeks of the Proof of Skill tournament. So I really hope Wargaming is going to implement that. That will solve the problem with the clan fielding a much weaker second team to the next stage, in my opinion. What is the next clan I'm streaming on NA? That's a question from Yarohao, Bawan, and GG to Dadu for real as well. The next clan I'm streaming on NA will be GG. Good game. I always confuse GG with Gucci Gang team for some reason. Because I think I think GG is also called good game, and G game I think also means good game as well in CIS. Yeah, so. Someone says Gold Hated. I think Hated has shown some good games, but I think probably just kind of the consistency. Maybe there's something that you need to work on. I think so. But if you don't have any other questions or anything you want to talk with me in this stream, then I probably would end the stream probably, unless Idaman wants to join in and start his TED talk, then I would be happy to keep this stream alive. T62A, someone I'm going to talk about this. T62A, I think it's a really amazing tank. I think for me it's the best tank in tier 10 because it has really good gun, and it also has an appreciable armor profile it contains. So T62A is a tank that a lot of people sleep on, and under the right hands it can be very deadly. And for me, playing in T62A, I think it's one of the most comfortable tanks to do a decent damage on. So that's why I think it's one of the best tanks. I think it's the best tier 10 tank in my opinion. It's even better than the T22 because T22 the gun is not as good as the T62A. I think the mobility as well, if I remember correctly. So I might play a lot more battles in T62, but probably I don't play a lot because I have some good 30-day stats with it, but not overall stats. So overall stats, I have nothing to lose. I have a big room to kind of increase my average damage there because I started really bad. that is when T62A still has like 5 degrees of gun depression, so that's and above to 7 degrees of depression really boosted the tank by a big mile. So yeah, T62A is now one of the best tanks in the game, and yeah. So apart from that, if there's really no other questions, I probably will end the stream right now, because now the number of viewers have dropped. So probably it's a good time for me to end the stream. And I think I will see you all tomorrow. We'll start off with Team ID on the Asia server. We'll kickstart the first previous skill tournaments with that, and then EU server will be streaming BPS, and finally NA server will follow GG. So until then, I'll see you all tomorrow in the morning on the EU server. I mean, for the EU server people watching this stream, and for others, have a nice evening and goodbye. See you all.